Thank you for joining us today for this brief introduction to the Center for Educational Excellence. Our goal is to get to know you and your teaching and learning plans for the next year, but it's also an opportunity for us to tell you a little bit about our work here at SEE. The mission of our center is to enable instructors to create innovative, engaging learning experiences for students. We support instructors throughout their teaching careers, from novice teachers to experienced award-winning instructors. You may have worked with us in the past or worked with us recently during the transition to remote learning, and so you probably already know quite a lot about our work. We hope that we can share with you some more of our work today and give you a bit of a refresh in case there's anything that you didn't know about. We would like to acknowledge today and every day how grateful we are to be working and living here on the traditional Coast Salish territories of the Squamish, Musqueam, Tsleil-Waututh, and Kwik-Wet'lam nations. Why is it important to acknowledge the land? As part of reconciliation, it's important to encourage our students to understand our connections to these communities, for them to connect the histories of these communities to their disciplines and to continue to learn. And with that acknowledgement, I would now like to hand it over to my colleagues to tell you a bit more about the work of the Center for Educational Excellence.
The Learning and Teaching Technology Division are the staff who have been very creative during the pandemic to support the pivot to emergency remote instruction. LTT staff are always interested in talking with you about using technology more integrated into your classroom. This technology can vary from familiar tools like Canvas and Zoom, but also finding features that perhaps you don't know about to support the teaching. They can also help with integrating iClickers in the classroom or integrating other fantastic interactive tools like H5P. This is an exciting area for people who are looking to explore technological ways to enhance their teaching. And they're also the unit that knows best how to take advantage of the tools that are needed for online and blended courses. Finally, there's the Curriculum and Instruction Division, which is where you will find most of the support for educational development. KID supports course and curriculum design from start to finish. Everything from planning face-to-face, blended, and online learning to designing assessments and engaging students using a variety of pedagogies. They also coordinate the workshops that many instructors attend, including everyone from TAs to TMs who are just getting oriented teaching all the way to seasoned instructors that are interested in learning new ways of thinking about teaching. KID hosts more intensive multi-day workshops like Instructional Skills Workshop and Rethinking Course Design. KID also hosts one-off workshops open to any SFU instructor, as well as bespoke workshops that can be customized to different departmental needs. KID also provides consultations with instructors and academics units around the university to dive deeper into one problem. SEE doesn't do its work in isolation. We are proud to partner with other units around the campus to support your teaching. These include Health Promotion, Student Learning Commons, and the Library, Work Integrated Learning, Center for Accessible Learning, Faculty Relations, and IT Services.
To give an idea of what kinds of topics that we can support at SEE, this visual is a constellation of some of the most frequently requested topics. And you'll see that we have expertise in a number of different areas, such as focus on multimedia projects, integrating into courses, face-to-face, blended, and online course development, as well as EDI. We strongly encourage instructors to take an EDI approach to their teaching and learning, as that lens benefits all students by making the classroom a more inclusive environment for everyone. A big part of what we do is assessment, feedback, reflective practices, and all of the different pedagogies, whether it's team-based learning, flipped classrooms, or community-engaged projects, such as service learning. We can also brainstorm with instructors on how to change things up or make sure that more student engagement is happening in the classroom. In addition to supporting instructors in the classroom, we can also zoom out and work with academic units in curriculum work for the programs. So we often work on curriculum renewal, retreats focusing on educational goals or mapping, and preparing for external review or accreditation. How we support you? Well, this is a website that you may be familiar with some of the things that I mentioned before, like where to register for our virtual workshops, etc. The workshops are a lot of times where people go naturally just to get an introduction to some topic. The blue button is often where people send quick questions that they hope to resolve with some additional instructions or resources. For example, I can't figure it out on how to add this quiz into Canvas, or where are some good examples of teaching dossiers? We have also lots of resources on our website, including tip sheets, although we're currently revamping the website so we can have even more. We've developed a few Canvas shells specifically for remote instructions, but are widely applicable for instructors, for TA and TMs, and for students as well, so that they can see some of the approaches and tools available to them in a Canvas shell. As mentioned, our workshops are quite impactful, and we reach a very large audience through them. In the last year only, we have put on over 300 teaching workshops and programs, with a lot of them being customized for specific audiences. Although we don't have the numbers for unique participants, as they are not available, these figures are for total participants and people who have come to those workshops, which we're really pleased with.
In terms of our course development process, we have 3 different modalities in which these courses are offered. The first being our face-to-face modality, which is of course most prevalent with our on-campus courses. The second being our online modality, with which you may be familiar if your department has offered a traditional distance course. The third are our blended offerings, which are a mixture of the two and will begin starting the spring of 2022. We do want to acknowledge our emergency remote instruction courses, and while we do anticipate that these will go away with the conclusion of the pandemic, we understand that they have been a major part of our support. When it comes to the services we can offer, C has a number of services that we can provide you. The first being planning and design of your courses. The second is alignment of educational goals with assessments. And the third is our course production work. The course production work focuses primarily on our online and blended courses, and you can be paired with a technician who can do the work in Canvas depending on the needs and timing of your course. We do want to advertise our technician support because it is a great service and we have lots of talented people who work on our courses in Canvas and can work with a variety of multimedia. We also support asking questions about teaching and learning. That includes reflective practice on how to solicit feedback from students and others, and engaging in scholarship of teaching and learning. We also support doing research on teaching, and we provide a variety of instructional skills development workshops, including managing challenging classroom dynamics, generating good discussions, and other instructional practices. Of course, finally, we support the revision and iterations of these courses to make sure they feel fresh and new and you can change them whenever you want. We also have a blended learning pilot program here at C, which we wanted to discuss as it is a new offering. Our first cohort began the summer of 2021, and they'll teach their courses January of 2022. Every semester for a few semesters, C will offer a 10-week course which walks you through the process of designing a blended course. Once that design is solidified, the cohort will work with C to set up and build this course in Canvas and create all the materials. Cohorts will also have access to invited external experts on blended learning that C will be inviting, and also financial support to attend conferences on blended learning. Instructors can submit expression of interest through our C website.
In terms of curriculum planning, this part of our conversation is going to be useful as you're thinking about your department's teaching and learning goals. What are you hoping for, not only out of the next academic year, but out of your curriculum? How can we support you in ensuring that your curriculum, your courses, and everything else align with those goals? If you are ever up for an external review, please let us know when that cycle is expected, as we can help with that process. For example, we facilitate retreats to help departments talk about their curriculum, and of course EDI approaches, including decolonization and indigenization, as well as teaching multilingual learners. Finally, please let us know your updated plans for transitioning traditional distance courses to instructor-led online courses.
Thank you for joining us today to learn about our work here at the Center for Educational Excellence. If you would have any questions or suggestions, feel free to reach out to any of our teams, and we would be happy to connect with you to learn more.